This is going to be a great episode of Insider Betting, the show where we give you guys our best picks and predictions for whichever UFC event is on the way. And this weekend is a big one with a badass main event for the BMF title between Max Holloway and Charles do Bronx Oliveira. It's got finishing potential upside. It's got decision. It's got everybody's just has a prediction for this main event. I'm very curious to see your prediction for the main event along with these other main card fights. Prelims, not the most exciting prelims in the world. We got Cody Garbrandt, some other stars hoping to make a name for themselves on the prelims, but nothing that really strikes my eyes on the prelims. But this main card starting off with a banger of a rematch, and there's no heavyweight fight on the main card. We see a really good main card. Yeah, I know. Surprising. The first UFC main card of 2026 without a main event heavyweight fight on it. And I feel good about this one. I'm really excited to watch it. Numbered event against with two really great guys who have title implications in their future. Maybe winner of Ilya versus Justin Gaethje, who knows? Or they give that shot to Armin. But these two definitely will earn a shot for the title with whatever performance they have. With a win here, it's just going to be violence. So I'm excited to break down that main event. What do you think about this card? I'm super excited to watch a banger pay-per-view card. Pay-per-view, not really, just numbered events, I guess we call them now.
I know. I don't know what you're supposed to call them now, but I feel like pay-per-view is still what I'm going with. Great card overall. I think there's a lot of fun fights. Like opening up the main card, Gregory Rodriguez, Bruno Ferreira should be a banger. Raul Rosas Jr. is coming back to fight again. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen him. Caio, RDR should be a great fight. And then you got obviously Holloway and the Bronx finishing it off the main card. Should a lot of fun fights. A lot of like, I don't want to call it irrelevant fights for like titles, but we'll see what happens. Like, I don't know if this like the main event, I don't know if like either of them, even if they win, deserve a title shot, but we'll
I'm in a bit of disagreement there. A lot of people are saying this is a paperweight title. It doesn't mean anything, but these two are violence. These two are top of their division. Max has been in pound for pound top 15 throughout his whole career, I believe, like the past 8 years or something. He's been in the top 15 pound for pound. So deserving, I think. And both of these guys have losses to the current champ. So to avenge that, if they get a big victory, could be sweet. I love seeing these storybook endings for guys in their career. And I think that they're both on right now. Like they're both really on that title. They're looking like their best selves in there. So excited to watch that one, and to whichever way it goes, it's going to be upsetting because these two both deserve it so much.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Let's.
But I will also mention Raul Rosas Jr. It was UFC Mexico last week. He's a very proud Mexican fighter. It's surprising that we see him here on the pay-per-view card over that last week Mexico card when there was a lot of obviously that card was filled with Mexican fighters. He probably could have even headlined that card against Rob Font, but he's here on this card to give some Mexican spirit, to sprinkle it in. But yeah, he could have fought last week, and I wouldn't have said anything about that. To see him here on the main card, really good for him.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Yeah, he could have definitely made an appearance last week. But open up the main card. We got Gregory Rodriguez. Huh?
He said, "No, I'm a pay-per-view fighter, bro. I miss me with those fight nights.
He's probably getting paid more to do this, you know."
He's getting paid way more for a main card fight.
Yeah, he loves Mexico, but he loves money more, clearly. But anyway, open up main card. Gregory Rodriguez versus Bruno Ferreira. This is a rematch. Their first fight happened 3 years ago where RoboCop was knocked out in the first round against Bruno. These guys basically are one and the same fighter. Two heavy hitters who can grapple when they need to, if they need to. I'd probably give Rodriguez the edge on the feet, while Bruno maybe has the slight edge on the ground, and I think he just uses it more. Can you hear the chicken in the background?
We can hear Chico with the chicken, but
you can hear Chico with the chicken. You gotta chill out, Chico. What are we doing here, bro?
Chico Bing.
But anyways, they both have 4 wins in their last 5. I think Rodriguez has fought some of the better guys overall recently. I think he's the one who has shown more improvements since they've last fought. And so I'm going to go with him. He is the favorite. I think that's why you can see he's dominating in every single category. I just think he's slightly better everywhere. And so he should get the win. But I mean, we saw him get knocked out 3 years ago. That's not that long time in the MMA world. So like it could 100% happen again. But I always try to go with who I think is better. I think Rodriguez is better.
Yeah. Statistically, in rematches in UFC history, I'm pretty sure that if like the second time they run it back, the guy who won the first fight typically wins the second fight. It's like 38%.
I was watching a video. Yeah, it's 62% of the time they'll win.
Yeah, so it's over majority that the guy who won the first fight is going to win the next fight. And I think we're both going to be on the side of the guy who lost the first fight here, because we've seen RoboCop enter a new form recently where he is bringing that pain in the octagon, man. And yes, we could say he got chinned by Bruno Ferreira in the first fight, in the first round, wobbled by Jared Cannonier. Does he have that chin to get him into the top 5, get him into the championship contention? We don't really know that yet, and he's going to be tested here again, and that's why this fight is made, because people think Bruno Ferreira will have that underdog knockout kind of potential in this fight. So a lot of people are taking that underdog in Bruno Ferreira, liking the form that he's coming into as a fighter himself, mixing in the grappling, which he'll have to do in this one. I believe he can get Gregory Rodriguez down if he wishes, but he stood up all 3 rounds with Marvin Vettori, I believe, and made that a dogfight when it didn't have to be. I would have loved to see Bruno put the lights out of Marvin Vettori, who's never been dropped before. That would have made me more inclined to take him here by knockout. But I think Gregory Rodriguez just won't let this opportunity in the rankings slip. And I think that he really is motivated right now to get into that top 10, into those top 5 fights against those Nasdym Imavovs, the top contenders. He wants to fight a DDP. He wants to fight Sean Strickland. He wants to fight those guys. I'm sure Bruno Ferreira does as well, but it's going to be tough to get through somebody like Gregory Rodriguez, who's so built, so big, so composed. Give me Gregory Rodriguez by a split decision here, probably winning the first round, third round, and 29-28 split for Gregory Rodriguez. It's going to be close. Bruno will have moments. Scary round that you might even think is a 10-8. Fuck, it might get bad. But I'm going to take Gregory Rodriguez here by decision.
Decision. I was actually just about to say that because there's that chance that Bruno Ferreira gets the knockout, I think a finish is going to happen in this fight. If you look at their last 10 fights combined, 70% finish rate in those fights, win or lose, you know? So I see the decision. Like both of their last fights, they got decision wins, you know? So like it's not impossible. I feel like a knockout is coming.
I want to root for that finish to start off the main card. It's just I could see these guys being so careful in there of getting knocked out, because you don't want to get knocked out, man. You just, in this division, it's scary coming off of those knockouts and recovering from that, and you'll be an underdog in your next fight. These guys really, really want to stay dialed here. We saw on a few cards ago, we saw a heavyweight fight versus Sergey Spivak and Ante Delija, and a lot of people were on the knockout side of that fight as well. I said Spivak by a close decision, and that's what happened. I think it's going to be a similar looking fight here where Gregory Rodriguez just shocks the world and gets a decision win. Continues his little slow rise.
Could be.
Like, I don't see a world where Gregory Rodriguez knocks him out and then gets a top 5 opponent next. He's on a slow rise. He's going to win it by decision. He might get another knockout in this future, but it's going to be a slow rise to that top 5, to a title. But I do have more stock in Gregory Rodriguez than I do Bruno Ferreira.
Yeah, no, I feel that. But yeah, next up, Drew Dober taking on Michael Johnson. I actually think Michael Johnson was supposed to fight not that long ago, but that fight got called off because his opponent was injured.
So I could briefly tell you exactly what happened. Michael Johnson was booked to fight Anthony Hernandez. Right after the weigh-ins, the fight was called off. Apparently, one of Anthony Hernandez's friends who was in his camp, they told him that he was injured, and he told spread that rumor, and then everyone started putting bets on Michael Johnson. So it was a fact that Anthony Hernandez was injured. He told a friend, the friend spread all the information, and then they stopped it because all the money was coming in Johnson. So they flagged the fight, and now he's rebooked to fight against Drew Dober now, which is a good, fun fight. Easier fight, in my opinion, as well.
I agree. But yeah, I think it sounds like we might both be on the Michael Johnson train here, but let's try with Drew Dober. He's coming off of a win against Kyle Propalik after losing the 3 fights before that. So he's only got 2 wins in his last 5 there against Propalik and Ricky Glenn, both by TKO. He's basically only really known for eating shots and somehow staying in the fight. But as we all know, as you get older, your chin starts to go. And I'm afraid we're starting to see that with Drew Dober a little bit. And you know what? It's 2026. And if you're still betting on Drew Dober, I don't know what you're doing. I'm not saying Drew Dober is going to lose this fight. I'm just saying he's definitely not worthy of your bet. I don't want to shit on him too bad because, like I said, I do think there is a way for Drew Dober to win. Like, this is a close fight. Like, look at the odds, like we're basically split even. It's not a walk in the park for Michael Johnson, but Michael Johnson's been really, really good recently. He's got 4 wins in his last 5. He's on a 3-fight win streak. His last win was against Daniel Zellhuber. And it's kind of bad timing because he lost last week. But up until that, when he fought Michael Johnson, most people still had a lot of hype behind Daniel Zellhuber. They thought he was like a true prospect. They thought he was coming up. They thought he was the next big Mexican fighter. And he's kind of proven not. He's on a 3-fight losing streak now. But yeah, I think Michael Johnson, he's the higher IQ fighter. I think he'll take his time. He'll pick his shots, and he will get it done in this fight. I do think it'll be very close. I do think it'll go to decision. Dober might get dropped once. I don't think he's going to get knocked out. And yeah, I got Michael Johnson winning this one by unanimous decision, I think.
I'll start it with Dober too. I've liked Dober fights. There was a few times last year where I think I was heavy on Drew Dober against somebody for whatever reason. It was at altitude. Forget
Manuel Torres.
Yeah. So I was big on him in that fight, and then just totally let me down, getting showing no defense in his striking at all, just holding on to his ankle and just getting pounded in the back of the head like 15 times, which was a brutal knockout loss. He has a great chin. Look at that chin. Look at that chin, man. That is the crimson chin.
Krypton chin right there.
Man,
that's nice.
Is that a fat target, man? That chin always gets hit, and he always looks different after his fights. It doesn't matter how crazy. Like, he is durable in a sense. Like, he's gonna walk forward. He's gonna take shots. He's gonna be in your face. But that chin is starting to deter a little bit. I think his damage that he takes, he wears it a lot more now in his fights as of recent. I do think Michael Johnson is better in the striking, better in probably everywhere in this fight. And he has the advantages in the reach as well, and the height, experience. He's also fought way loads tougher of competition in Khabib, Justin Gaethje, a bunch of vets. The experience that a fighter gains from those type of fights is different than a Drew Dober fight getting knocked out by Manuel Torres. He's learned so much more. He's experienced so much more. He's surpassed this level of Drew Dober by a mile. And I think he proves it in this fight, where he stops getting disrespected as these close fights. He's going to get a bigger favorite in his next fight after a knockout in this one. It's time to put some respect on his name. I think he starts this little resurgence in his career where he climbs up the rankings a little bit, gets on a hot streak, and I'm all about it. And I loved him in his last fight against Zellhuber. I've been against Zellhuber. He's been fraud checked. I think knocked out in his last 3 appearances in the UFC. So not a great stint that he's in. But Michael Johnson's got the momentum and the experience, and he should be better everywhere. It's a clear underdog pick for me on this card, or favorite pick, actually. So they're giving him some flowers here. But anybody who's hyping up Dober in this one, make it make sense, because I just don't see it, man.
Yeah.
Kyle Preperlek from Windsor, Ontario. We're getting hype about Drew Dober getting a win in a Canada card that was like, it was even like it went to round 3 like it was a close fight. Prepelec was in that fight. Michael Johnson's going to make it look like Drew Dober shouldn't be in this fight.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. Fuck, we're 2 for 2 so far. No splits. We'll see if it's coming up.
Not typical. This isn't typical.
No, it really isn't.
Not your typical
Not of
show
recent
here.
times as well. All the favorites though. But anyway, for the feature fight, we have Rob Font taking on Raul Rosas Jr. This is a big striker versus grappler matchup. If you look at Rob Font's last 3 fights, he's actually looked pretty decent. He's got 2 wins against Gene Matsumoto and Kyler Phillips. But most recently, he's picked up a loss against David Martinez, where he lost by decision. But then you have Raul Rosas Jr., who's riding a 4-5 win streak since losing to the prospect killer, Christian Rodriguez. I mean, on paper, this fight should be a pretty simple one for Raul Rosas Jr., but at the same time, it's probably the toughest opponent he's ever faced. The game plan is simple: wrestle fuck. That's all he's got to do. Take him down over and over and over again. Rob Font just doesn't have good takedown defense. He's sitting at 43%. But the issue is we've seen Raul Rosas gas before. So the question is, can he go 3 rounds, try to take him down and keeping it on the ground and that? So a bit of a tough one. We've seen it before. Vegas doesn't really value grappling and takedowns the same as other commissions do. So that makes it a little bit less appealing for Raul Rosas Jr. But as long as he's able to do it over and over and over again and really just hammer that down and not get hit a lot, he should be able to get a quick win. I do see it going to decision. It's not super often we see, well, we used to see more finishes from Raul Rosas, but the tougher the opponents are getting, the less finishes we see from him. He's running a 2 decision win streak there. With like his last finish was against Ricky Turcios with a rear naked choke, and he also knocked out Terrence Mitchell. So anyway, I see this fight going to decision. I see Raul Rosas Jr. winning this fight. He should win this fight, but it's his biggest challenge to date. So it's hard to say from here, but Raul should get it done, in my opinion. I always like going with the grapplers.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing against Rob Font. This guy is the hardest test Raul Rosas Jr. has ever had, harder than Christian Rodriguez, correct?
Yeah.
But
Christian Rodriguez wasn't even that good. He just kills prospects.
Yeah, he was able to get Rosas up against the cage, take him down, reverse positions. It was a masterclass. He was just levels above Rosas Jr., who was still young at the time. I believe he was either 19 or 20. So it was a minute ago. He's had time off. He's had injuries. I don't know how distracted he is being 21, being in Vegas and living the life that he does with the content and all the girls, and how locked in is he to actually being this world-class fighter. He always talks in media about how, oh, I'm going to win the title by when I'm 25 and retire. It just doesn't sound like he has this game plan of longevity and being at the top for a long time, where somebody like Rob Font has based his whole career off being that guy and being hard work, training with Robbie Lawler, just in camp and just staying ready for whoever, whenever. Where Rosas Jr., I'm not sure if he's in that same mentality of whoever, whenever. I think he wants the favorable opponents, which Rob Font is a big favorable opponent for him. On a pay-per-view card, he's getting a big payday here to just go in and grapple fuck. Take him down, hold him down, try not to take damage, because even in a fight where Rob Font was dominated on the ground, taken down 7 times out of 11 takedowns against Gene Matsumoto in UFC Seattle, I saw this one live, he still lost to Rob Font because Rob Font was able to have the bigger moments on the feet, land some damage, bloody up the nose. So maybe we see Rob Font get a controversial upset decision win here when it goes. There's no way Rosas Jr. is going to finish this fight. I just don't see him getting to the back and actually getting in the choke. But if he does, I'll be super excited for his future and his prospect ability in the bantamweight division. It would be fun, but I don't think he gets the finish. I do think he gets the win by grapple fucking, because Rob Font just he loves to get taken down and he loves to not get back up. So that's exactly what's going to happen in this one. If Rosas Jr. is smart, he'll do that immediately. He is bigger. He's got the size. He's going to be more explosive. Give me Rosas Jr.
Yeah, I like how you brought that Gene Matsumoto fight because we also saw that against Kyler Phillips. Kyler Phillips took down Rob Font 4 times, but Rob
Yep.
Font was still able to land more, and he got a unanimous decision in that one. It wasn't like Gene Matsumoto was split, you know?
Yeah.
So it just shows that takedowns are not enough. Like you gotta land some on the feet or just don't get hit, you know? And to be
Mhm.
fair, Raul Rosas does a decent job of that. Like you can see, he only gets hit 1.37 times per minute. So it's really not that crazy. But yeah, you just gotta avoid getting hit, land a few shots, and land a few takedowns. But you
There
gotta
was a
beat him all
UFC no
around.
Jake card, but Rosas Jr. and maybe it was at the Spear or something. He came out super strong, bro. Like he has this ability to come out in that first round looking like a championship fighter, but fade in that second, third round. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of if he's got it all together, if he's really locked in his training. I'm just not sure. I'm actually gonna like not put this one on any parlays just because there's so much experience and veteran mindset of Rob Font to pull off a
Yeah.
sneaky split decision win in Vegas where it's this one seems like parlay buster to me, but everybody's on the prospect in Rosas Jr. How could you not be, especially with the stylistic mismatch? So I am on Rosas Jr., but I'm scared of this fight.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one where you're scared to bet on just because you haven't really seen Raul Rosas beat any big guys, you know?
And
But
how does he look of as recent? We haven't seen him as of recent. It's been like a year and a half since he's fought.
yeah, yeah, his last fight was March 2025, so almost exactly a year
Yeah.
ago. But anyway, next up, co-main event, Kyle Barallo taking on Renier de Ritter, who both were basically a fight away from a title fight, or a win away, I guess I should say, from title fights. And
Mhm.
they both choked. Um, yeah, Kyle
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
off,
both professional choke artists. Yeah, they both should have been
yes,
fighting for a title already.
some like that. Kyle,
This
he's
is like
coming
a
off of a
number 2
loss.
contender matchup. Like, this isn't a
Yeah,
number 1 contender
literally.
matchup. This is a number 2 contender matchup.
Yeah. Kyle coming off a big loss to Nasruddin Imavov. Up until that, he was 7-0 in the UFC. It's actually only his second loss as a pro as well. And yeah, like I was saying, if he won, he probably would have gotten a title shot. He was on a pretty hot streak there. And I think the UFC wanted to see the fighting nerds get up to a title shot. We've seen them kind of fast tracked a few times, and well, all of them have choked recently. Um, Kyle, pretty composed striker. He doesn't have high volume, only 3.5 strikes per minute, but he picks his shots well. Um, Even though he hasn't really used it in his recent fights, his ground game is actually solid as well. He's got 76% takedown defense. And earlier in his career, we saw him take down Armin Petrosian 4 times in the fight. Oleg Zaitchuk, he took him down 3 times, and he even won that fight by submission. But it's just like in his last 4 fights or so, we just haven't seen him get any takedowns. Um, he's just been keeping it on the feet. So,
Mhm.
but RDR, on the other hand, was also almost fast tracked to a title fight. I think the UFC really wanted to make that happen just because he was beating so many big names. But he took a loss to Brendan Allen where he literally quit on the stool. It was the end of the 4th round, and they called it while he sat on his stool. It was a corner stoppage loss, is what they listed it as, aka quitting. Um, we say it every time, but RDR, he's a pretty one-dimensional fighter. Almost every time he's fought, I thought he'd lose, but he just kind of kept on winning, except for that last time. Um, I like Kyle better. I want him to win. I don't really care for RDR. And I hope Kyle can get it done. His takedown defense looks good enough, but again, we just haven't really seen it recently, so it's hard to tell. We haven't seen it against this level of opponents. And that's where RDR thrives. So it's really like that's the game plan. Avoid get taken down, keep it on the feet, and you'll get the win. But if you can't avoid the takedowns, you're probably lining yourself up for a pretty heavy loss here.
I'm such a fan of these guys, the middleweight division. This one is one to look forward to for sure. I will mention that all 3 out of 4 fighting nerds, Carlos Prates, Marcio Rufi, Gene Silva, they all came off of a hard loss and got back into the win column. So now it's Kyle Bahayo's time, the leader of the fighting nerds, to avenge his loss to Nasruddin Imavov and get back on the winning trail. So RDR is a tough opponent, though. He's going to be outsizing Kyle Bahal. I think he's going to be a little larger. He looks like he has gotten into a lot better of shape as of recent. After that last loss to Brandon Allen, it was definitely time for him to get checked in and take this a little bit more seriously, because he had all the momentum in the world coming into the UFC. I believe he was a double champion in one. And then he comes into the UFC and he gets on a 4-fight win streak, and he's 1 fight away from fighting for a title. Insane kind of pace that this guy was on when getting into the UFC. Unfortunately, in that last fight, everyone remembers it as a Brendan Allen domination. But in the first 2 rounds, Reiner de Ruyter got on top and he was able to do damage. He looked pretty decent until he had this metabolic, I think it's called, drop, as he explained it, to where his body just completely shut down and he couldn't recover at all. So that 3rd round, he got into bottom position. Brendan Allen was on top, and just like after that bell rang, he couldn't even stand up to get to his stool. So after the 4th round happened, where it was the exact same thing, Brendan Allen takes him down and it's on the ground for 5 minutes and he can't get back up, they stop the fight. So I do believe Reiner de Ruyter has taken the proper amount of time to recover from that, get in better shape, and take this one more seriously to get back into that championship form mindset that he was in already. Kyle Barallo looks good in his recent fights. He looked good against Nazim Imavov, but he didn't have the ability to put on the pressure to Imavov. Imavov was in the center of the octagon, having Kyle fight off the back against the cage. I think de Ruyter, being the bigger guy, will have a similar presence in this fight. He's going to be in the center of the octagon with Kyle just slowly getting walked back to his back to the cage. And that's where Reiner de Ruyter is scary in the clinch. We saw it against Bo Nickel, knees, elbows. Once he gets to weighing on you, it's a different kind of style of fight. And I don't think Kyle is going to be ready to get him off as much as he might have to in this fight. I think de Ruyter is going to want to make this one close, look for those takedowns, lay on top of him, look for ground and pound, look for submissions, trying to get to the back. And I do think de Ruyter is my pick here, the first underdog. We can't just pick all the favorites. I think de Ruyter is going to ride his way to a 5-round, or this is a 3-round fight, which definitely benefits him as well, to really get those takedowns immediately in the 1st, 2nd round, secure those rounds, maybe make it fun for the fans in the 3rd, but I doubt it. I think Reiner de Ruyter gets his takedown in every single round. I think he looks like the better fighter in this one, surprisingly putting an end to those resurgence of the fighting nerds. I think it's RDR's time. I hate betting against him. I bet him hard against Brendan Allen, which was stupid. I might bet him hard here against Kyle Bahal, especially being a plus 225 underdog. For where he was in his career, I just think he's going to continue on like he never had that fight with Brendan Allen, and he's going to be one of the next guys we see fighting for the title. Maybe RDR versus Sean Strickland in the meantime or something after this one, but RDR is that guy. I'd hate betting against him. He's proven me wrong so many times, except for that Brendan Allen fight, but I'm going to forget about it just like he is, and I'm going to bet Reiner de Ruyter probably money line in this one, but I see him winning a close decision. Also, what was I going to say about Barallo? There's one thing, but if you want to talk for a second while I find that. But I got RDR here. RDR is my pick, surprisingly enough. You're muted, brother. You are muted.
My bad. Chico's playing with his chicken again, so I was trying to be respectful out here, you know.
All good. I'm curious to hear what you thought about what I just said at you.
Yeah, no, I was saying I don't hate the RDR pick. Like, he's proved us wrong so many times, you know. I think I'm picking with my heart for this one. Like, I like seeing the fighting nerds do good. So it's hard to pick against him. And I just don't like RDR, bro. Like, if this guy becomes champ, like, not a fan, you know? So it's just like one of those things where I think Kyle's story is better. I think he's got a way to win. I want him to win. I'm going to go with him to win. But RDR, that's where you make some money. So I don't hate that pick at all.
Yeah, I just think RDR outsizes a lot of these guys, and his striking is outrageously bad. Like, he throws the most DDP ass strikes. He looks very slow in there, but once he connects with these clinch strikes, it's just like that. The size and the power of him in this division is a little more dangerous. So I actually think he has the finish potential in this fight. I think he has the decision potential in this fight. I think it's going to be hard for Kyle Barallo to fight his kind of style of fight where he has to maintain distance. He has to be the one walking forward. He has to be the one with more output. Output, I think he could do, but walking him down for 3 rounds, 15 minutes, not getting taken down once, it's going to be a tough stylistic matchup for Barallo. But I like his mindset. This was the thought I was trying to get in my head. In the media this week, he says he knows that Reiner de Ridder quit his last fight, and he's going to want to change the narrative that he's not a quitter and come into this one in championship form. So Barallo's not calling Reiner de Ridder a quitter. He's not coming into this one thinking Reiner de Ridder is going to slow down. He's coming in this one thinking that RDR is going to be in the best version that he's ever been in. And that's really good from Kyle Barallo. He has the IQ. He's the team captain of the Fighting Nerds. It's a close one, closer than how I broke it down, but my money's on RDR.
Nice. Cool. Let's see what we got next. Last fight of the night for the main event of the evening. Max Holloway taking on Charles Oliveira in a pretty full circle moment. Both of these guys fought each other way back in 2015 in Saskatoon, believe it or not, just across the pond over here from Cody and I, where Charles Oliveira popped his shoulder and lost the fight in the first round. A lot has happened since, but we got a pretty interesting fight out of it. DuBronx coming off of a big win against Mateus Gamrot, and he needed that because things just weren't looking too hot for him. Before that fight, he had only 2 wins in his last 5, ending an 11-fight win streak. There we go. Which pay-per-view is that?
Ilya, knockout, DuBronx, sleep, UFC 317.
Tough. But yeah, no, he needed that win. He wasn't looking too good. He since losing to Islam and snapping his streak, he just has not been the same. And then you got Max Holloway, who's got 4 wins in his last 5. He's been looking really, really good. He obviously got slept by Ilia Topuria, but he had that highlight KO against Justin Gaethje. He had a great decision win against Dustin Poirier. He's still fighting the OGs to get his wins, but that's who he's fighting today too. It's tough. I've always struggled with Charles Oliveira because I love Charles Oliveira, but I feel like I always give off the vibe that I'm a hater, you know? Like I never feel that confident against Charles Oliveira, and maybe that's recency bias because in none of his like most recent fights I felt too confident on him. You know, like his last wins are against Beneil Dariush and Michael Chandler before Mateus Gamrot. You know, even against Mateus Gamrot, I was like, ooh, I don't know, but he got it done. You know, so I got to give him respect where it's due. But I think Max Holloway is still better. I think he's gonna get to perform in the fight that he could have done in the first time these guys met. Holloway's on a better trajectory. BMF, I think he's going to get it done. Maybe line him up for a BMF White House card. Would love to see it. Would make more sense than DuBronx fighting at the White House. But yeah, I feel like a BMF title fight at the White House is like a must. You know, like Mr. Trump over there would love that. Like that, he'd hype the fuck out of something like that. You know. So yeah, give me Max Holloway. I think he's going to get it done. I think there's a very like true potential for a knockout in this fight for Max Holloway, but we'll see. I don't want to see Charles Oliveira get knocked out again. So yeah, that's my take.
Bang. I'm seeing a lot of people liking the underdog in DuBronx coming off that Gamrot win. I'm seeing a lot more people talking about Max Holloway as the favorite here to do what he does and get the knockout. It seems like as of recent, UFC fans, we've been taking the favorite in these main events, the Fluffy Hernandez, the Brandon Moreno, and we've been loving it. We've been preaching it. The Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje, and we're kind of sleeping on the underdog, and then we get shut up every single time. And I'd hate for I wouldn't be mad if it happens in this spot because I am on the best is blessed train. And if Charles wins, yeah, it is what it is. He's a badass motherfucker. He deserves it. Bad news for you about the UFC White House card and having the BMF belt on it. The UFC card is already made. It's already done. It's already Dana White's gonna announce it probably today or tomorrow, or during the broadcast at UFC 326. but he already announced that twice on Instagram Live and with another interview that the card's done and he's announcing it this week. Back to this fight.
My bad.
Yeah. It would be dope to have the BMF title on the White House.
Maybe he's got on there. Maybe he's got on there BMF title winner. Who knows?
Now we getting jiggy with it. All right. Now, I've been staring at these two for a while here. For weeks, actually. I've been thinking about this one. And I think the UFC has done a great job, I will mention, on Paramount Plus. If you watch the new broadcasts, they do a lot of promos for the upcoming pay-per-view cards or numbered events, as we call it now. And this one's really hyped me up, man. They got Charles Oliveira in the favelas talking about how this is his dream. His career is complete. All he needs is that gold. And then obviously Max Holloway still on his chase to avenge his loss to Ilia Topuria as well. These people are saying that this one doesn't have any title implications. I kind of disagree. Both these guys fought Ilia Topuria and lost. So obviously Ilia needs some new competition, but these guys are right there. And with the big, let's say if Max gets a KO, I think he deserves it. I think if Charles gets a submission or a KO, he obviously deserves it. So it's a fun fight. Submission finish, obviously in the favorite of the best submission finisher in the UFC history, Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira. And then we have Max Holloway, who is one of the best boxers, best strikers we've ever seen. Pound for pound, top 15 for the past 8 years, I believe. So not one guy. Like, both these guys deserve to be in this fight. And I like that there is this BMF belt, because if there was no belt, this would just be a random main event fight. These guys deserve to be fighting for a title. Let's stop not giving them credit. This BMF title does mean something. It means something. It might not be what you want it to be, but stop being a casual and give these guys their respect. They definitely deserve to be fighting for something. 25 minutes. I do see this one being violent. I think Charles Oliveira will strike. He's already had these clips come out that Max has talked about on streams of where he sees Charles training and practicing the point down, and he says if he does that to me, he's all game and he's going to finish the fight. So I think Charles Oliveira might actually just not fight the fight that we saw him fight in his last one against Gamrot. He's tricky, and this is why he's an underdog, bro. In one fight, he'll look amazing against Gamrot, and then the other fight, he'll get knocked out by Ilia Topuria in the first round.
Yeah.
And like you said, his wins before that, Michael Chandler and whoever else, they're not great wins. Max Holloway, world class. He's going to look great on the feet. I think he gets up from these takedown attempts. He's tricky to take down. He's long. He's lanky. Max Holloway is the pick. The BMF belt stays blessed. But if Charles "Do Bronx" wins, I'm not upset. I think there is a world where he could find the back, get to the choke. If he is in that form we saw him in that last fight against Gamrot, I just think it's too. He shows up, he doesn't show up, he shows up, he doesn't show up. So you're really betting a coin toss on this one if you're betting Charles Oliveira. I think Max Holloway, you know what you're going to get from him. So that's why I'm picking him in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, well, a couple things that you said there. One, I really hope you're wrong about him taking this fight on the feet, because I feel like if he does, it's going to end the way Ilia did. Like, he went up against Ilia and he's like, I'm going to strike with Ilia. It's like, why would you strike with Ilia? Take him down. Saying. You're better at him than that. And he's so smarter. He done the same against Max Holloway.
He's smarter and more experienced than to make that same mistake again. But I'm telling you, he probably will. I know. Will.
Oliveira is like one of those guys who's like high IQ, but like low IQ at the same time. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of crazy his game plan sometimes. But yeah, but I will preface it by saying that I do think that every BMF title fight, if it's the 5th round, 30 seconds left, a minute left, the point down has to come. It should be mandatory for all these BMF fights. Yeah. Because if this ends up with the Bronx on top of Max Holloway, 30 seconds left, he's just hugging him on the ground, keeping him there, maybe giving him a little love taps on the side. That's not how a BMF fight ends. Don't do that. Stand up, point to the ground, keep it going, make it
You're
fun.
You're actually so right, bro. And
that should be like a special rule for BMF title fights.
You just swayed my pick. Max by KO. Max by KO.
Give it to me.
Max by KO. A lot of people are saying pick the over, pick it to go decision. Fuck that, bro. This one, it's a badass, violent main event for a BMF title. Give me Max by KO, bro. Come on. Come on, bro. It's going to get too violent on the feet. There's Gamrot landed like 18 strikes in 2 rounds? It's not going to be like that for Charles Oliveira in this one. Max will have 200 strikes by the end of the second round. So 25 minutes in a war with Max Holloway. It's just, you got to get it to the ground and you got to make it your fight early. And I just don't think he's going to do that. I think he thinks he's better on the feet than he actually is. And that's tough. That's tough. We're going to see Max Holloway get a KO here, I think.
Would love to see it and would hate to see it at the same time, you know? That's what happens at the Bronx fights. But anyway, that's all we got for today. Next week, we have Josh Emmett taking on Kevin Vallejos in the main event. Kind of a crazy main event there. But
we'll be watching that one. Really sure. That's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun one. That's a fun one. But yeah, that'll be a good fight.
Not a bad show.
Yeah. And the week after, Evloev is coming back to fight Lerone Murphy. Should be a big one as well. So I think we're on the 4th week of consecutive fight weeks in a row.
Yeah, there's that London card, then there's a Seattle card, then there's a Vegas card. That's a fight night. Then there's UFC Winnipeg, and then there's like 6 more weeks, 7 more weeks of UFC. So stay strapped up for the Thursday live streams. Obviously, we go live every Thursday, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m., 1 p.m. Pacific. Bro, did I nail that or what?
Sir. Yeah. That was close enough.
Come on.
You
hit him with the outro. Hit him with the outro.
Hit him with the outro.
And then I'll be live on Saturday watching the fights as well. This one is a pay-per-view numbered event. So I'll go live a little bit sooner and we'll do like a 6-hour live stream for y'all watching these fights, betting these fights, and just having a great time, man. UFC Mexico, low-key sleeper card last week. This one I think is going to be sparks flying. Very excited to be back. Watch party Saturday. Tap in, subscribe, and bet along with us, man.
Yes, sir. Couldn't have said it better myself, but we'll see y'all next week.
Take it easy. Peace.